Hey. How's everyone doing? Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies, and comrades. This is Ken Revolutionary for another day, for another session. Um, I'll be here approximately maybe an hour, maybe less. I don't know. Again, it all depends how things go. I'm not really, I'm not really all, you know. Anyway, forget about that. Karibu sana. Whatever you're watching it, if you're watching it from Kenya, if you're watching it from Africa in general, if you're watching somewhere in Europe, China, Asia, Australia, New Zealand, Antarctica, Atlantis, America, North America, South America, whatever. Which pale unaiangalia. Please, karibu. Karibu sana, okay? The topic today is it time for the youth leadership in Kenya? Youth leadership. Do you approve it? I always see a lot of, there's a huge voice from certain quarters that has, there's a call for not only youth to get, opportunities in this country, which I agree. The youth are the future. The young people are the future. They are the people who, we look upon to carry us forward. Once we, the old, the decrepit like me, will get out of the scene, it is our youth who will carry us on. So some people are arguing, let's just talk about the politics in the political context, okay? Some people are arguing with the advent of Raila Odinga heading out to AUC, and now we see there's all this makelele, within the ODM party, and there's a struggle, wrangles within the Azimio as a whole, whether it's Hassan Joho on one hand, Ledama Lekina, and Mr. Oparanya Ombetsa fighting over the control of ODM, and Azimio in general. I guess, as there's this talk that maybe it is time, with the absence of Raila Odinga spearheading the Azimio ship, maybe it should be time for the young folks, the young politicians, to be given a chance to, take the front seat on politics, not only within ODM, but in our national politics in general. We feel like, I was watching today, this morning, there's one guy who was in, I think, with one of these talk shows, and he was saying that, since he was a kid, Mr. Musalia Mudavadi was his MP, and now he's a grown person being a member of parliament. Musalia Mudavadi is still in government. So it was a good point. He was like, hey, listen, these guys have been here forever. It's time to give some people. But here's the argument. What I usually tell the young folks, I'm for it. I am for the young folks to be given a chance to lead, to have opportunities. But just, you don't qualify for a position just because you're young, okay? We just don't give you the mantle to lead a nation or to hold a political position, whether it's a gubernatorial seat, whether it's an MP, whether it's a MCA. We are not just going to give you the seat or vote for you just for the simple fact that you're a youth, you're young, okay? You have to offer something. You have to have experience. You have to have, some kind of know-how of what you're doing. You have to be competent. You have to have integrity. You have to be somebody who's upright, honest, all those wonderful things that you need in a leader. Hi, Kenya Rebel. Hi, Goody. I see you in the comment section. So that's what I'm trying to argue. We can't just go by, but I guess the pendulum is shifting. The old folks have proven to be ineffectual. So maybe we need to look somewhere else. And today, if you've seen Nakumecha, not Nakumecha, what's her name? Wamuchomba, Babu Owino, among others, went on and had a meeting. They had a press conference and they say they are willing to work together to help the common mwanainchi, which I think was a positive thing. How are they going to help the mwanainchi? I still don't know, because they are, from my, my little knowledge of them, they are still they are, if not all of them on that press conference were member of parliament. So the best way you can actually help the wananchi is to advocate for them and represent them at the legislative body where you're legislating on laws that actually can help the people back in Mashinani. So I don't know if they're planning on something to extra parliamentary that will benefit the people, or I don't know how they're going to do it, but I will play the clip so you can understand what you're talking about. Other news, just before we get to that, about this youth leadership stuff. What's his face? The deputy Gachagua, I guess he apologized to Mama Ngina and the Kenyatta family for saying not so good mean words, for saying mean words to them, towards the family, Kenyatta and all that. And some people are saying that maybe he has realized that Ndindi Nyoro is going to be the person to take his place in 2027. So he wants to endear himself with the Kenyatta family, who are the de facto kingpins of the Mount Kenya region. I don't know. I really don't care about Gachagua or the Kenyattas, to be honest with you. Yes, they're still a factor in Kenyan politics. Let's not kid ourselves. This is the most powerful, as far as financially, the richest family in Kenya. So they have some say. They can pay people to make things happen. Okay? And they have most businesses in Kenya. So yes, but as far as their politics are, I never really, to me, I was never a fan of Gachagua. Let me just say that. Gachagua is not my cup of tea. I never voted for Kenya Kwanza. So I never voted for Azimio as well. So when I hear this whole wrangles about regarding Gachagua reconciling with the Kenyatta family, or at least trying to warm up to them, it's noised in my ears. I don't really care about it. I have no feeling either way. I don't care. It's just, yeah, it is what it is. If they want to hold hands and hold rallies, well and good. Who cares? Okay. What other news? What's going on? I forgot. There was other news that I wanted to talk about that I forgot. There's so much happening. Anyway, let's get to the news clip. Like I say, today I'm not going to stay long because, hey, Netherlands is playing with Germany. I want to watch Germany. I want to watch Musiala, Jamal Musiala, and Nagelsmann. I hope two of them comes to Chelsea, but that's another point. So I want to go watch that game. I think they're playing somewhere, sometime today. Moses Watangula and Mr. Tawe, what's his face? Natembea. I don't know where he's walking, but there seems to be a brewing. There's a huge divide in Western Province. There's a new sheriff in town by the name of Natembea. They're saying it's called the Tawe Revolution. Natembea is endearing himself with the people. He's holding rallies where, people wanatokea and they're showing support to him. Oh, yeah. England and Belgium is playing tonight? Yes. England, as long as you have Southgate, I really don't want to watch England. Beside any coach that plays Ben Chilwell and Conor Gallagher, they need to be shot. England has such a good team. I'm just digressing. England has such a good team, but the coaching is not there. Southgate is a disaster, okay? And he will cost them the Euros. So, and Belgium, I heard they have a nice team. They have some Doku and Lukaku. I don't know if Lukaku still play for them. Eden Hazard's brother is still there. Who else is there? De Bruyne. Who else is playing for them? Who's playing for Belgium? Has talent. I forgot who else is playing for them now, because that generation of Eden Hazard are kind of phasing out. So it's a new generation, and I had they have a pretty good team, but I'm not going to watch the game. The game I want to watch is Germany. Germany, I like Nagelsmann. I'm a huge Nagelsmann fan, and Musiala is a Chelsea academy player who went to Bayern Munich in 2019, and I've never forgiven. I really don't think those injuries are real for England. I think it's more of they're trying to save these players for the last part of their domestic league and also Champions League and also Euros in the summer. So I think it's precaution, because I had Chekwemeka for Chelsea was for the under 21 team. Then he kind of went back to Kyle Walker also, he said he was injured, but they are really not telling us how bad it was. I just think it's a precautional thing. They just don't want to, these international friendlies can be detrimental, to be honest with you. I don't think they don't help these players. These guys play a lot of games, and you want to put them there on these friendly games where they risk getting injured. And right now, if you look at all the leagues, they're kind of wrapping up. The domestic leagues are wrapping up. So these injuries, all of them, I don't think they are really serious. It's just a nice way of these players, faking an injury so they can, not participate in it. But as I said, I am very interested in watching how Germany play. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of Nagelsmann and Musiala, and is it Wirtz? Wirtz. Those midfield, two young kids. And Nagelsmann, since being a coach in Leipzig, and I saw him when he was coaching Bayern and they beat PSG in Paris. I mean, they outplayed them. Paris that had Neymar, Messi, and all that. Nagelsmann is the man. I don't care what nobody says. Even Pep is not as good as Nagelsmann. I hope he doesn't go to Liverpool, because he will make Liverpool win everything. And that's something that I don't want to watch. That will be a nightmare. Okay? So hopefully, Nagelsmann, if you're listening, don't go to Liverpool. Come to Chelsea. We'll give Liverpool Pochettino with all that running and stuff, and we'll take Conor Gallagher with you and Ben Chilwell. Chili Beans, whatever his name is. But anyway, that's football. We need to have one day where we can talk about football. Back to politics. As you can see, I'm all over today. But I will, as I say, I might not be here too long. I just wanted to touch on a few things. Let's review what is going on out there. What's going on out there? So I want to play this clip. Apparently, let me just go ahead and say this. Congratulations to the new president of stop the jealousy. The new president of Senegal. He's only 44 years old. He was the opposition. There's a lot of goodwill from across Africans, especially Africans who really, are pro-Africans. Macaroni and cheese. Macron sent a message to him saying, "Hey, I'm looking forward to work with you." Macaroni will try to. Let's see how this new president will work, will kind of change Senegal, because maybe he might be influenced by the Sahel coalition, the Niger, Ibrahim Traoré, and the two other generals from Mali and not Burkina Faso, but Niger. So let's see if he's going to be influenced to actually do things that help the Senegalese. The previous regime was known to be puppet for the French. So let's see if the opposition, this guy, the new guy, I forgot his name, the new Senegalese president, hopefully he'll be someone who will bring real change and have policies that actually help the Senegalese people. Mwanainchi. What else? Okay, let's go to who else? What's going on again? There's so much going on in Kenya. I was talking about Nakumecha. I'm not going to play all that. What's that? I'm not, like I say, Wetangula. I don't know what's up with Wetangula. He almost got beat up in Kakamega somewhere else with Natembea. We're not going to touch on that. It's too early for that. Whatever Natembea is doing in Western Province is okay. It is what it is. It's news, but it's not really excites me. Okay, let's get to the matter. Mada ya leo, ama namna gani? Let's listen to what Babu Owino and some people from UDA met up, okay? And they had a press conference, and they announced that wanataka kufanya kazi pamoja ndio wasaidie Kenya. I'll tell you what I think after this clip. I will tell you, okay? Nitakwambia. But before that, let's listen to. I'll get to that. Okay, so okay, let me play that so we can get along. Please like the video. If you haven't liked the video, come how you like your video. I don't know what I'll do with you. I don't know what to do with it. Like the video. Now come out with the subscribe immediately. Tafadhali. Okay. So let me play the first video so we can hear what these MPs who are from different political divide, Kenya Kwanza and Azimio, they met up and they had this press conference. I don't know what they're up to. Let's find out from this press conference. I haven't had it, so this is the first time I'm hearing it. Okay, and you're correct.
On the ground. This is a team that will voice Asanteni sana, as Mheshimiwa Wamuchomba has stated, that this is a team that will be on the ground. This is a team that will voice that will echo the voice of the voiceless, that will fight for the inherent and inalienable interests and rights of Kenyan citizens everywhere, wherever they are, in all the 8 regions. This is a team that comprises of youthful leadership, the generational change. And the team here, we have Mheshimiwa Caleb Amisi, all the way representing the Western region and the youth in the country, all the way from Saboti constituency. We have Mheshimiwa Wamuchomba Gadoni, representing the Central region. We have Mheshimiwa Charles Ebuna, CNN, representing the Eastern region. We have Mheshimiwa Amos Mwago, representing from Starehe constituency, representing Nairobi and the youth in the nation. We have Mheshimiwa Catherine Omanyo, all the way from Busia, the Busia women representative, representing Western region and also the youth in this nation. And we have also our leader, Mheshimiwa Mark Mwenje, who is also from Nairobi, Makasi constituency, and also representing Nairobi and the interest of the youth in this nation. And we have myself representing also Nairobi and the youth in this nation. And therefore, we have issues that we will be addressing from time to time. And this is the team that is going to give direction in this country, because we have seen there's a little bit of laxity in opposition. And therefore, this team will take its rightful place to ensure that the interests of Kenyans, very objectively, are fought for. Not limited to holding rallies to discuss the plight and the issues affecting Kenyans, not limited to calling for maandamanos, regional maandamanos in every county, in every constituency, in every ward. And these maandamanos will better be imagined than experienced. And today we are here to talk about various issues. After that, we will be telling you a timetable on how we'll be moving as members of the press, because we want you to be part of us. And the first issue that we want to talk about is the issue of health. Mheshimiwa Wamuchomba has talked about the issue of fertilizers and the plight of farmers in various parts of this country. All the members of parliament here will talk about different issues. I want to talk about the issue of the health crisis. Right now, doctors are striking, and this is their 14th day into their strike. We don't want the government to relax, to let the doctors strike for over 100 days that happened between the year 2016 and 2017. There was a CBA, a collective bargain agreement, that was signed between the government and the doctors. And it entailed, number one, that the doctors be paid their arrears owned by the government.
Okay, okay, number one, the first thing that came up to my mind is that this is the thing that came up to my mind. It was just a few weeks ago, few weeks, last week or something like that. We saw the picture of Babu Owino and the ODM guys. It was Babu Owino, Ledama Olekina, Hassan Joho, and what's the other guy who he met? And the Suna MP, I forgot his name. Junet Mohammed, yes. Okay, there was speculation, of course, before that picture that they took when they had that picture, 4 of them. The previous week or a few days before that, Babu Owino was in a show where he said that, you know what, when people are discussing who will be taking over from ODM, he has to be on the table. They have to discuss, they have to consider him, basically. He said that, okay? So, okay, I get that. That is him trying to, chukua usukani on ODM. You see, ODM is kind of, Raila made it clear that it's either Oparanya or Hassan Joho. Now people are talking, Hassan Joho, there's a tug war between the Joho faction and the Oparanya faction. You saw Nanieli Semanini Siaya Orengo said, basically this was a shade. I was throwing shade to Nani Joho, saying, this since Raila Odinga is leaving, we can't let this party go to a business person, and he didn't name names. Of course, Joho is a business person. Whatever business he's doing, I'm not getting into that for now. But anyway, so there's kind of a war, not war, but there's a divide between, it's like people are, they're kind of supporting Ombetsa or Paranya. They're alienating Joho. That's why you see Joho is making a lot of noise. Kila siku namsikia, hata mpende msipende, mimi nitakuwa katika ballot 2027 na nitakuwa katika chama cha ODM. Basically, he's saying he's going to be leading ODM. So it's very interesting to see that after all that picture and all this noise between Ombetsa Oparanya and Joho, now Babu Owino is emerging to be talking to Wamuchomba and these other folks. Sorry, I can't remember their names. I remember Wamuchomba because she was the only one who went to her constituency and listened to her. She had public participation, real participation, public participation when the finance bill was about to be passed. She went and consulted with our constituency, and after that, she came back and voted against it. She's UDA, if I'm not wrong, or Kenya Kwanza side, not UDA, but Kenya Kwanza affiliated politician, okay? So, yeah, thank you very much, Brother Benson. I see you. So, after that, she was one of those renegades who did not toe the line as the president wanted her to do so. So she came back and voted against the finance bill, okay? Now, that's why I remember her name. The rest, I kind of don't know. The lady from Busia and the other guy from Dagoretti, I don't know them. So now, what I'm trying to say is this. Now, we've seen that Babu Owino was trying to be assertive when it comes to the say of where the ODM, who is going to take over ODM. He wants to be considered as part of it, right? That's number one. Number two, of course, Azimio will also have to, if it will stay together, they want to see if it's going to stick. We all know Kalonzo is probably a goner. He's gone. Kalonzo is gone. Martha Karua had a little bit of an interview with, what's his name? Jirongo. I don't think Martha Karua will stay. So, there's a hole there where Babu Owino can fit in. But now you see him, he's reaching out to other people from other political parties, trying to start this little thing over here. I don't know what they're calling it. And they're saying that they will champion the Wananchi's Wananchi's cause. Okay. So that's interesting because I've always said that, and I think it's a smart move. It's a good move. It's a move that I would applaud. I've always said that if you want to be effective, instead of making noise outside the parliament, reach out across the aisle and advocate. Take issues that all of you can relate on. We know I usually use the example of cost of living. Okay, whether you go to Eldoret or Kisumu or Nairobi or Mombasa, the cost of living is high, relatively speaking. Okay. Of course, bei chakula may be, unga might be different in different parts, but I'm just saying, generally, the cost of living and the economy, everyone is feeling it. Doing the next video. Why did he say? I'm getting to that, Goody. I'm getting to that. So what I was suggesting is, it's if you are a politician and you want to be influential within the political sphere, okay, reach out across the aisle. The Wakina Barasa people. So that's a smart move with by Babu Owino. I don't know who initiated this, but I would think this is Babu Owino's move. Okay, since we know Babu Owino is trying to find his feet, because maybe ameangalia ODM akaona ODM iko na wenyewe. Ombetsa and Joho, the older folks. This is what let me just say this. If you look at the ODM part, as much as Babu Owino would like to be a factor, which he is to some extent when it comes to the youth and the influence and the celebrity status, ODM iko na wenyewe. Kuna mababe wa ODM. They are the big wigs, the decision makers. I remember when Otiende Amolo was in a debate with somebody else, Kenan, and Kenan told him, like, hey, listen, I used to be in Azimio, and I know there's some things that you cannot talk about because there's one time you tried to go against your own party or Kenya, ODM, and you got reprimanded. In fact, walikuwa wanataka kutoa. So, and Otiende Amolo smiled and laughed, chuckled in agreement. He didn't actually confirm what Kenan said, but it was understood, okay? So basically what I'm trying to say is this. ODM iko na wale, the decision makers, okay? And I suspect these are the what's his name? Mbadis, the people who are really close to Raila Odinga. You had, listen to Mama Ida coming to Goodia's point, where Ida, what Goodia is saying right now. And I'm going to connect with her with what she's saying right now in this chat. She's saying, why did Mrs. Raila and Orengo endorse Mr. Opio during the funeral? That's what it connects with my point, okay? If you listen, if you see the people that Mrs. Raila Odinga, I saw her, she's in New York actually with Gladys Wanga and the PS Omolo somewhere in New York. I don't know if they're back yet. But anyway, this is connected with what Goodia is saying here in this comment, okay? If you see the people that Mrs. Ida Odinga is endorsing, okay? Unakumbuka, she kind of endorsed Wandai. She kind of endorsed, what's his name? Mbadi. Okay? These are the people who are really close to Raila Odinga, who I think, in my estimation, these are the decision makers, okay? These are the people that sit with Raila and they say, hey, this is the guy who we want. And Babu Owino is not in the menu. Babu Owino is not in the menu. I'm telling you this. Yes, Babu Owino has influence. He has the ground, some youth who are with him. But if he's going to try to operate within ODM, he has to go by the decision that's going to be made by Wandai, Mbadi, Raila, and the few circle that actually makes the final decision of who is going to take the party. And so far, by all indication, it's going to Ombetsa or Paranya. You see now they've started talking about Onazako kind of indirectly demonizing Hassan Joho. And if I'm Hassan Joho, please don't waste your time, Joho. It's either you just anza kujipanga. And I think this press conference that Babu Owino was giving with his folks here with Wamuchomba and everybody else, it's an indication to me that Babu Owino understands that the future of Azimio and ODM is not as bright. It's going to, I'm not saying ODM will phase out and ODM will become like Jubilee, okay? It will be a regional party. Of course, it's still kind of a regional party, but given the years since its inception in 2000 and what is it? When did your ODM start? Was it 2005 or whatever the case is? Okay, when they had all the principles, when Ruto was there and everybody was there, but it has phased out with time. Every electioneering, what on a defect. In fact, there was somebody. What's his name? Silas. Somebody who just left ODM today. Jakakimba or something like that. What's his first name? Jakakimba. He was Raila's personal whatever, very close guy to Raila. He defected and went to UDA, okay? And today we are seeing Babu Owino he's starting to chart his own future. Maana ameangalia hapa hii ODM akajua, hey, boss, hapa sitatoboa, hata nivunje hii meza. I'm not going to be in the discussion as to who is going to take over. I'm not going to be. So, it's only smart for me to start thinking forward. Okay? Let me try to find some people outside of my party or my party coalition who I can work with and build something with. So that's the indication that's the message I'm getting here, unless you're reading it differently. But that's exactly what I'm seeing. And you can see him trying to connect with, Yuzi. Was he there? And it was kind of not really, I would say it's a good move So far, I just want to see what exactly are they going to do that people can pinpoint and say, hey, this group of Babu Owino and Wamuchomba and the other people, this is what they did to help the wananchi. If they can do something that we can all see and applaud, which can furahisha the wananchi, the common man, that they can actually, brag about and say, we did A, B, C, D as a group, then I think they will start having a political mileage. Press conference is fine. That's good. You've announced that, hey, you're willing to work with the people in the opposition. You're willing to work with us. That's fine. That's good. That's a good step. It's a good step. I can't knock that step. I think it's a good step from Babu Owino. But now we want to see what exactly are you guys going to do. Babu Owino, you've been, I told you, I have a gripe with you because, the past 2 serious bills, you never voted, buddy. I never saw you. You absconded. You are nowhere to be found. And nilikuona kwa press conference hapo ukisema ati sijui nini, but you never voted. That's why I'm like, you need to make up for that. So next bill, or if you're going to work on a bill with your friends, Wamuchomba and whatever, and you kind of gather some influence within the parliamentary organization, institute, maybe try to, join. I told you this. I said this. If I was Babu, you have the first step. Okay, we are talking about youth leadership and I'm talking about Babu, Maybe he's the face of the youth leadership, but I hate making it about one person. But let me just use him for an example, okay? Not that I want to talk about him, but let me just use him for example. Okay, you have the first step. What wamekujua, okay? People know who you are, or some, Now, earn some points, earn some brownie points, as I call them, okay? The brownie points, what do I mean? We want to see bills that you are fighting against, bills that you've helped draft that will be beneficial to wananchi. That's how you raise your stature. We want to see you more. Hata kama unaenda Citizen TV, discuss this issue. We want to see your intellect. Where do you stand and how does it stand with your voting history? Because right now, you're still not on the clear. You are making the right move by working with people from across the aisle. But if we sit down and start arguing with somebody and they'll tell you, Babu Owino, you are telling us that this finance bill, you don't like it. But when it came to vote for it, you never even showed up. Mtu akishakwambia hivyo unajua amekuchapa 10-0. So it seems like even if you are, touting all this and that, you don't have that backing of what you're saying. So that's where you're going to actually have a difficult time. That's why I'm saying the difference between him and Sifuna may not be as exciting as Babu Owino, but he's a name out there. He's building his stature by, he's debating this Jubilee people who are clueless in TV, and people are seeing how he's mercilessly, ulimwona jana, he's making all this, he's exposing Sakaja. He's doing his duty as a senator, and we are seeing this. And he has been always vocal. I remember even when 2017, when Miguna was detained in Kiambu police station, Sifuna was out there. He was ready to actually box one of the people who were there, the Jubilee guys who showed up to protest. He was there ready to box him. He was like, no. We are going to fight for what's right. We are able to talk. So these are the things that kind of I look at it and say, you know what? And I've never had any controversy about Sifuna, unless somebody tell me on the chat. What has Sifuna meiba pesa mali? Hana ile ujinga. I'm sorry, Babu Owino, but you have a case, okay? I know you've changed and all that, but the way that case went, we are not going to touch on that. But I'm just saying. It's going to come up when you're running against somebody. It's going to come up, Babu Owino. It's going to come up. I'm sorry. But Sifuna, I've never had something about Sifuna stealing money or, yes, he was wearing that sufuria in his head, which was like ridiculous. I don't know what you're thinking, Sifuna, what were you thinking? Sifuna with a sufuria in his head. But at least ulikula tear gas kama mwanamume. I'm just saying, Sifuna. I'm just saying. So what I'm saying is this. It is one thing to say something, but you have to back it up. If you're going to talk about you're against finance bill, let's see you vote against it. Okay? When we look at the Hansard, we want to see that you actually argued against it and voted against it. Okay? Win or lose. Don't tell me that, oh, I didn't show up in the parliament because I felt like this thing was going to pass anyway. No. This is like saying that you have a boxing match, okay? You're scheduled to fight at 5 p.m., okay? Alafu nasema, mi sitaenda kwa hiyo boxing match because what is the use? Nitashindwa. So why should I go? And you've been training all this day, people have picked you to go and box that person. Alafu nasema ati mi sitaenda kwa hiyo boxing ninio kwa sababu nimejua nitashindwa anyway. No. You show up. You're being paid to show up and box. And I'll show up. Hata ukichapwa round ya 3 ama after round ya kwanza, we'll respect you for showing up and showing us that you went and fought for us because we voted for you to go represent us. Unaelewa? So coming out and giving this press conference is cute and nice, and it's a good ninio because you're reaching out to some people who may have the same ideas as you, because maybe you guys feel like the parliament is not pushing what is best for the wananchi, which is the general consensus or sentiments within the common mwanainchi. So that's a good thing. So mnakutana mnasema, you know what, we'll work together to raise these issues that wananchi care about, which is a good step, okay? But we want to see what exactly are you going to do? How are you going to do that? We want to see that. We want to pinpoint. We want to be able to point at something that you can do that is tangible, something we can see. Okay, this bill was stopped. Like, you know how Okiya Mtata does it? And Okiya is a simple man. He just walks there looking like, you know, nobody cares. But look, we can say this bill was once stopped because Okiya Mtata went to the judge, the court put in a petition to stop this thing, citing how unconstitutional this bill was. That's a big brownie point that will raise your stature as a politician in Kenya. You earn people's respect. You earn people. So far right now, Babu Owino, you're just a celebrity who we know was pinpointed was Raila's, you know, bus boy, okay? Raila made you. Most of you, as a mere people, will look at you like Raila made you. Raila picked you. I'm not saying that that's all it is, but you have to prove just more than that. We have to, you know, Raila coming out of the scene, we want to see who's made of what. So that's a good move. That's a good move, but we want to see more, okay? Okay? I told you, Babu Owino, consultation fee. Tutaongea nyuma ya tent. I can tell you, I'll be nice. I'm very expensive, but unajua. Unaweza kuweka down payment, alafu ukikuwa governor, when you become a governor, pay me the back end, okay? Pay me the back end. Personally, if I was to advise you, Nani Babu Owino, don't go for governor. Don't go for it. Weka mpakasi hapo another 5 years, then build up yourself, see how things go. If there's somebody who needs to be governor, I think it was for Nairobi, I would go with Sifuna. I'm telling you, I would go with Sifuna. That's the governor for me. But anyway, we are talking about time for youth leadership in Kenya. Is it? Are we tired of this same old decrepit men and women who lie to us every electioneering? Is it time for the youth? At least we've seen Babu Owino has taken an initiative. He's reaching out with Wamuchomba and a bunch of friends who are relatively young, and they're saying, you know what, it's time for us to actually drive our own agenda. Good step. Nice step. I embrace it. I just want to see what you're going to do. I want to see what you're going to do. I want to see something. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? I'm glad that you raised the issue about healthcare and madaktari. That's a good thing. Who else are we going to talk about? Who else is there that can stand up with the people, who is young enough, who is Ninio? Because we see that most of these guys are failing us. Okay? Who else can we count on to help the wananchi? All right. In another news, real quick, before I continue with the youth leadership thing, BlackRock. You guys know BlackRock? The world's largest asset manager. BlackRock is now investing in the Nairobi Stock Exchange. Hey, BlackRock. Some people are arguing that now Ruto will be taking Nenio from BlackRock. I've been saying this. These guys, I wanted to play something about, I wanted to have a review of an interview with a gentleman who was talking about the debt, the loans that we took, that Ruto took. Was it a few months ago, last month or something, that was used to service the other debt? But the new conditions or the new terms of the new debt is actually worse than the previous one, the Eurobond, the 2 billion Eurobond that we took in 2014. Okay, the interest rates are just high, and we're asking ourselves, why did we take that debt? Okay, it's like it's a new debt which will take us up to 2031, which we are going to pay interest, and it's a mess. I wanted to make a review in that, but it will be so long, so I chose not to do that. I might do it maybe tomorrow. I don't know if I have time. It just depends on what happens tomorrow. But anyway, the topic today is it time for the leadership, youth, to take over from these old folks? Is it just a matter of being young? Does that just qualify you are you qualified just by the virtue of being young? Or should you have something more than just being a youth? That's the question that I want to ask. Anyone who wants to, I'm going to leave this last 20 minutes for anyone who wants to come in and give me an opinion of who you think you want to see. How, what do you think? Is it time for the youth? Should we stick around with the old folks? I'll just give it 20 minutes for somebody to come in. Kama unataka kuingia, unataka kusema kitu. Before I wrap this up, I have nothing else. I want to talk about some other different stuff, but time is of the essence. I have to go get ready. Nataka kuangalia Ujerumani ikicheza na Uholanzi. Okay, so let me do this. Ladies and gentlemen, take this time to subscribe kama huja subscribe. Na nataka kucheza video ya Moses Kuria was somewhere in I think he was somewhere in what's that place called? Where I forgot where it's called. But this is the meeting where Gachagua in Nyandarua. Sorry, guys. This was in Nyandarua. Moses Kuria has something to say here in Nyandarua. Let's listen it for. I know this is unrelated, but I just wanted to listen to Moses Kuria. He had something to say in Nyandarua. I hope he will be speaking in Swahili because he's always speaking in his mother tongue. But let's go.
Asante sana gavana, rafiki yangu gavana Badilisha, Archbishop wa Ng'ombe, Archbishop Jerry Kibalabala PhD, mabishop wote, my fellow ministers on this side, Mheshimiwa makamu wa rais na viongozi wote, rafiki yangu, ndugu yangu, my very dear brother Bishop JJ, nimekuja hapa leo kutoa rambirambi zangu na familia yangu kwa sababu ya kuachwa na mama yetu. Hiyo group ya WhatsApp ambao umetaja, I've been a member since day one na sijawahi kutoka. One of the things nimeona huyo muda yote ni kwamba wewe, when you are low, unaambia watu leo spirit yangu iko chini. When you are in strong spirit, we get to know. And I know, mimi najua umeng'ang'ana na hii maneno. Kimimi na kuombea Mungu na kuomba uruhusu mama apumzike, tuwe kukubali na tumejaribu yote ambayo ungeweza. Your life for the last 2 years have been revolving around the sickness of your mother. Kwa hivyo nataka kuambia kwamba mjipe nguvu na familia yenu yote, na Mungu aliwaza ndio tuweze kuendelea mbele. Na vile nilikuambia siku ya Jumamosi, sisi sote tuko katika hiyo safari. Hata Wajakoya ako katika hiyo safari. Hata wewe Bishop, siku moja tutaenda tukutane na mama. mambo ile nilikuomba ni kwamba wewe ukuja hapo mwisho ndio uzike wengine, usiende mapema, na mimi ndio nitoe hotuba kama waziri kwa hiyo mazishi yao wengine pia tubaki na wewe. Yule mtu tutatuma kwanza ni Karango wa Muraya, ndio wakati tutaingia huko atushike live, tuingie in style.
Something you have to give Moses Kuria. I do not like him as a politician, but he's funny. That's what.
Najua Bishop ile kazi umefanya hauba dogo kigira ko luko no nyoko ne kala go kigira ko marome ginyage durine ke fula hemu abia ko eti huko. Niseme pia tukiwa hapa katika kaunti ya Nyandarua, makamu rais, tuko na kazi kadhaa zinaendelea. Tumeambiwa mambo ya barabara. Anajua Mheshimiwa Kiaraho na timu ya Nyandarua, Mheshimiwa Medho, mlikuwa na Mheshimiwa rais na mkapanga mambo ya barabara. Mheshimiwa makamu wa rais, nataka kuomba ya kwamba mimi na wewe tukishikana tuweke kuni na tuweke electric shock kwa kiti ya waziri Murkomen. Akijaribu kaa chini anapigwa na shock, anakumbuka Nyandarua. Na sababu hapa najua barabara kidogo za Nyandarua tuko na changamoto upande wa barabara. Kutoka hapa tupitie pale Nakuru, tukute waziri wetu ndugu yetu Njeru, tumwambie damu yetu pale upande wa Daragwa, damu ya Pesi damu, na ambayo inaweza kupea watu wote wa Nyandarua, watu wa Daragwa na watu wa Olkorau. Tumwambie hata zingine zikitushinda hiyo isitushinde. Pande wa Nyandarua South tuko na industrial park ambao nilianza nikiwa katika ile wizara nyingine. Na kidogo najua anatumanga Medho akienda nyumbani angalie pale Jabini, na hiyo kazi naona inaenda pole pole. Mheshimiwa Deputy Governor umesema kwamba to regulate viazi ya Nyandarua bila itakuwa kwa gunia. Mimi sikubaliana na wewe. Hata hiyo 50 kilograms sikubaliana na wewe. Ningetaka viazi yote ya Nyandarua ipitie Jabini ifanywe value addition, ndio tuweze kupata pesa zaidi. Ningepata carrot na cabbage na kila kitu hapa. Wale watu wa KFC ambao wanatoa chips kutoka Amerika waanze kutoa viazi chips zao hapa Nyandarua kwa sababu ya value addition na agro processing ambao tunaweza kufanyia hapa Nyandarua. Na ni kwa sababu hawa watu tuko na deni yao. Hawa watu waliamka mapema wakatupigia kura. Wakapigia Mheshimiwa Rais, wakakupigia kura Mheshimiwa Makamu wa Rais, na wakachagua hawa bunge wote na waheshimiwa wote including huyu Medho. Na kwa hivyo
okay, that was Moses Kuria. I just gave a short snippet of that. Apparently Wajakoya also had stuff to say on that Ninio, and Wajakoya, you know, Wajakoya and the deputy president are not exactly best friends, but I haven't watched this video. I just want to watch it and see how the reaction was. He was speaking right in front of the deputy president Gachagua. In my opinion, I don't think these people really hate each other. These people, you remember when after Ruto became the president, the first person from the opposition, well, Wajakoya at that time wasn't part of the Azimio, but he went and congratulated Ruto, shook his hand and shook Wajakoya's hand, and he was like, hey, umtu ni kweli ni mwanamme. You know, they changed a little, you know, pleasantries. So I don't think there's a real beef. I think this is all done for the cameras, for us, the wananchi, to think that these guys actually hate each other. But these people probably, you know, these people probably hang out behind the curtain. These guys are friends. They are millionaires and all that. But let's listen to Wajakoya, what he had to say, because I think it would be interesting to hear, just, you know, for fun.
Your Excellency, the Deputy President of Kenya, of course I'm addressing you for the first time, the church, and my friend I don't know whether I should call you professor. I think you deserve being there, Dr. JJ, and mostly Bwana Mungu asifiwe. Kuna mtu hapa anaitwa Mwiru. Huyu mtu is among the Kikuyus that have made me. Na ningelipenda kusema hivi, Mheshimiwa mtukufu Makamu wa Rais, leo ningetaka nije na Wangoi, my firstborn daughter, 34 years old, mama yake anatoka kwako. Sijui kama ulikuwa unajua namna hiyo. Watu wananionanga tu kama kichaa, huyu mtu ya bangi. Lakini ile bangi mimi huongea juu yake ni ile ya kutengeneza mazao. Ile ya kutengeneza silaha kama Israeli. Ile ya kutengeneza dawa, sio ya kuvuta. Na ningelipenda pia kusema kabla sijaendelea kwamba Mheshimiwa Raila Odinga, Mheshimiwa Eugene Wamalwa na Mheshimiwa Peter Munya wamenituma nikuletee pole. Na Munya akaniongezea kidogo dota yake ambaye ni MCA, akasema enda na yeye, kama ataruhusiwa kuongea sawa, kama hataruhusiwa niongee. Munya ako na wewe. Na ile kitu kingine ambaye niliangalia bwana governor, nilikuwa nafikiria nitapigwa na mawe hapa. Manake kule Bungoma kwetu, bwana Makamu wa Rais, nataka wende waangalie kwa nini kwa Kikuyu watu wapigani mawe, wanasiasa. Kwa nini Bungoma peke yake ndio yuko watu wanapigana siasa na wenyewe wanajulikana? You as the deputy president, you have the authority and the ability to find out why, because you have the machinery. And if I may tell you, the people who are beating others are the people you people have given power. Kupiga watu na mawe. Nashukuru pia kuona my friend Sabina Chege, who has been my client. Sabina, ulikuwa hapa hukusema. Ungesema tu ndio watu wajue mimi sio kijaa. Na hapa pia nimeona mambo mingi. Kuna timu hapa inaitwa Wajakoya FC. Sijui kama huko na habari. Iko Huruma. Ningependa Makamu wa Rais kwa rafiki yetu ambaye tumeanza naye leo. Maana this is the first time I've shaken the hand of this man. Na nilikuwa nafikiria hata nichapa kofi, lakini the man received me well. Therefore I'm extending an olive branch to you, my brother Gachagua, that siasa ni ile ya nje. Lakini sisi vile tuko saa hizi Kenya tuko sawa. Hatuko sawa ama hatuko. Isipokuwa ile mambo ingine hapa na pale tutatengeneza vile itakuwa. But I'm inviting you to come to Mumias to have a cup of tea with the Wanga people. Probably, and this is following what you have done in the Kikuyu land. Kikuyus brought me to be who I am today. JJ Kamoza educated me. James Njiru educated me. Nathan Kahara educated me. When I was a chokora in Nairobi. Kikuyu nation, you kill one, 10 are born. You are the bastion, na hii mlima is a sacred mountain. Nyinyi ambao mnakaa hapa kwa hii mlima hamjui, sisi tunajua. Without hii mlima sisi hatuendi mahali. Kweli rongo? Ndio naona mimi nikienda kwa mlima kila mtu anasema Wajakoya. Na bwana JJ, Bishop JJ. Unajua we are pairing. My wife namna hii wako hivi wanajuana. Sani yako anacheza mpira UK, wangu pia anacheza, wanajuana. Ile kitu sijui tutaungana namna gani. Niko na kadota kanafanya medicine. Labda tutaongea hiyo maneno baadaye. This is not the first time, and I don't know how.
You see, he's making my point. I told you these guys, they kind of know each other. They are interrelated. They hang out together. Their kids play together. So there's no real beef between them, okay? That's why the politics that they kind of it's for the gallery. They're playing to the gallery. There's no seriousness behind it. I'm not saying that people should kill each other and be enemies, you know, for politics to be what it is. But I'm just saying that some of these things, they sit behind the tent, so to speak, the proverbial tent, and they make plans. And you have the term manufactured consent, okay? I call it Hegelian dialectic. Okay, you cause a problem, all right, and then you cause a crisis, then you come up with a solution. So Mandamano was I'm just using the example as Mandamano. Mandamano was the problem, political tension, and you bring this political tension to get people to have a certain feeling about an issue. Then you unakuja hapo na unakuja na solution, already made solution. Unaambia, okay, in order for us to take care of this crisis, this is what we need to do: A, B, C, D, and F. NADCO report, okay? Give Raila AU seat, change the constitution, let's extend whatever, upatie watu viti hapa na pale, because these guys, like I said, they are all friends, they hang out together, they do stuff together, they plan, cause a problem, and then they have us agree on their solutions which actually benefit them, not the wananchi, but they make it seem like without this solution that benefits them, we will still be in a crisis. You just had this man, they know each other.
Mr. Governor, Bwana Governor, I don't know. Why can't you come to Bungoma, where you have got a governor who is a friend to the deputy president, and tell them to leave this culture of stone throwing na kupayuka na kutukanana. Kenya ile tulio nayo today, hatutaki kutukanana tena. Tumechoka. Kikuyus do mature politics. Na sisi Waluya tunapigana.
Wajakoya, you need to stop. Wajakoya, you did not just say that. Ati hii ni ya kutukanana. Wajakoya in the sijui mnakumbuka vile he was in the campaign. He was saying some uncouth, unbecoming, the vitriol towards the President Gachagua, and Deputy President Gachagua and Ruto was out of this world. Again, he thinks we are forgotten. But of course, NADCO imepitishwa. There's a plan in place that they want to push it through the legislation. So he has to play, now everything is dandy. Anajifanya ati we are nothing without this mountain. Watu wa Mount Kenya, sijui Gachagua, we've been friends, blah, blah, blah. See how they're playing us? New Janja. That's why I never trusted this Wajakoya guy, okay? But let's go ahead.
Na mkae mkijua kwamba Wajakoya yuko kwa debe 2027. Bwana Gachagua, tutakunywa chai na wewe tuone vile tutatengeneza hiyo maneno. Asanteni sana.
Of course, he said he will be in the debe in 2027. You know why? Because, again, if you have a political party and you have people first of all, if you have a political party, the government pays you. That's number one. Number two, if you lose, he can become the second, third, the close third or second or fourth. And he can always negotiate a position with the next government. That's how politics is played. That's why he's like, hey, Gachagua kuja mumias, have a tea, whatever, nitakuwa kwa debe 27, na tutapanga vile ile tutafanya, okay? So if you win, consider me in the next government. Well, but, it's a game. It's a whole long con game, to use Babu Owino's word. So these are the kind of politicians that we have. Now, let's look at what this, I said I didn't want to mention it, but maybe I might just touch on it a little bit. Ebu tuangalie, what's with this, nani, mtu wetu, what's his face? Oh, crap, I'm forgetting his name. Our buddy that's throwing stones in whatever the case is. Did we what time is it? Anyway, it's about 1. All right, it's going to 1 hour. Anyway, so the last issue that I want to mention is something that I wanted to play. What time is it? It's almost an hour. Oh, crap. All right. It's been an hour. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies, and comrades, if you haven't subscribed, I will stop here. It's been an hour. I said I'll be here 1 hour only. I don't want to bore you. I don't want to be here like 5 hours. But if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and subscribe, share, like, and comment. Like I said, the point that I want to emphasize today is that, again, yes, I believe there's nothing wrong with the youth taking leadership positions. But let's also be clear. you are not qualified for any position just by the virtue of being young. You have to have the ingredients, the right ingredients, in order to be one. Okay, you have to be principled. We need ideological clarity on how you want, what philosophy you want to implement if you are to take a position. Maybe you want to become the next governor, maybe the next president, next whatever. Okay, you have to be very clear on how you are going to do. You have to have integrity too. Okay, you can't be someone who can be bought, who can bow down to IMF, World Bank, and all this Bretton Woods foreign banks and stuff. Okay, you can't be that. You have to stand up for the people. You have to be principled. You have to be all that. Being young is just not enough. Okay, I'm not against it. I'm for it, but you have to be more than just that. Okay, you just don't tell the old folks tokeni hapa kwa sababu most of these old folks that you see, wakina Musalia Mudavadi and all that we talk about, it's not that they are incompetent. It's not that they're too old to do this job. The problem is that they are compromised, okay? And it's hard for them to change because, it will take a lot. Kama ushaiba kwa serikali for the past 10 years or whatever, how do you expect that person to come clean and say, hey, EACC, hebu kujeni mchukue mali yangu, nimekuwa nikiiba kwa serikali for the past 10 years. I mean, that's so hard to do. So they have to maintain the con game. I gave an example. I made a video of USAID that is provided in Kenya and how that is being used by the Western governments to bribe the political class in Kenya in order for them to implement their own policies that actually is advantageous to the Western corporations, okay? And that's why we have all this debt that we have. Okay. These debts are always prolonged. I asked the question, did it make sense for us to borrow extra $6 billion, okay, in order to repay the first Eurobond, which was $2 billion in 2014, okay? But the terms of the new bonds are worse with higher interest rates that we have to pay back, okay? It does not make sense. It only kicks the can down the road for our children and our children's children to pay that debt, okay? And the money that we borrow for development, we don't do development. This money goes to individual politicians' pockets. That's why you have these guys having private jets. They have helicopters. They have mansions and thousands of acres of land, while people are living. The mwanainchi is living in squalid living conditions. There's no development. There's no economic growth. Okay, there's no industry being built. There's no expansion of the tax base. People are not productive. Only a few. And the few that are being productive are taxed to death. If you are to pay these debts, you have to expand the tax base by creating employment, sustainable employment that will include a huge portion of the population to join the workforce in order to collect more revenue in order to pay all this debt. And that's why we have these loans that if you are to borrow, you borrow it so you can have development, create trains, start industry, factories, whatever, roads and stuff, which will help you to bring more people into the workforce so that you can collect more revenue instead of raising taxes on an already overtaxed workforce. Okay? So wewe unapata pesa na pesa yote inaenda kwa tax, hata una ninio, you can't survive, while the 1% of the population, the political class, are living in ninio, wako na do mob, more than enough. That's what we are arguing for. So for the next president, I saw Babu Owino tweeted something about the new president of Senegal, okay? So let's put this in mind. Let's not just, the 1 hour is gone quick. Right, good year, as I wrap up. So let's not just get excited by voting people because they are young. Age to me is not an issue when we have a candidate. Of course, you have to be, sane. We see with US, Joe Biden is literally, he's out of his mind. And I'm not making fun of him, but he's literally out of his mind. Okay. And it's maybe partly due to age. Okay. But all I'm saying is this: regardless of what age you are in, as long as you're somebody who, is principled, has integrity, and cares about what the country needs, the people need, what's beneficial for the people. That's what we are looking for. I will finish with reading you something about Libya. I'll finish with it. I want to show you what Gaddafi accomplished as a leader. It was remarkable, and that should be the kind of the standard of African countries of what we can do and what we should do with the country, as far as economically and the entitlements that we should guarantee our people. Let me just play it. Let me show you real quick in the screen as we wrap up. I saved it on my page so I can read it here so we can have an idea. And this is part of the reason why they kind of got rid of him. They got rid of Gaddafi. He didn't have any. His country never had any debt. And this was an African country, okay? Yes, you might argue that, they had oil. Yes, we have oil. It's not as much as Libya, but we have other things. We are importing everything, and that's part of the reason. That's why they get these loans and bribe the top economic political class in order to kill us with these loans that we pay. We, the wananchi, pay. The political class will not pay this loan. Okay, that's why they don't want us to audit the debt. They talk about, we're paying debt. But no one is talking about auditing the debt. Okay, so all right. So let's look at this. Let's look at it as I finish. Let me read you the Gaddafi's accomplishments. Yes, he passed on. All right. 16 real reasons why Gaddafi was killed. Can you see it on the screen? I want you to let this inspire you if you're a politician or you want to be a politician, whatever the case is, if you become president for the next, in the future. Okay, number 1, Libya has no electricity bill. Electricity came free of charge to all citizens. 2, there were no interest rates on loans. The banks were state-owned. The loan of citizens by law, 0%. Just on loans and interest rates. Did you know, but even in the Bible, the usury, which they call interest rates, was considered haram? Okay. All right. 3, Gaddafi promised not to buy a house for his parents until everyone in Libya owned a home. 4, all newlywed couples in Libya received 60,000 dinars. Sorry, that's what they call it. Dinars, their money from the government. And because of that, they bought their own apartments and started their families. Number 5, education and medical treatment in Libya are free. Before Gaddafi, there were only 25% readers, 85% during his reign. Okay, so he promoted education. People, literacy rates went up to 83% of the population was literate. 6, if Libyans wanted to live on a farm, they received free household appliances, seeds, and livestock. Not these fake seeds that we are seeing in Inio. Okay. 7, if they cannot receive treatment in Libya, the state will fund them $2,300 plus accommodation and travel for treatment abroad. 8, if you buy a car, the government finances 50% of the price. Okay. 9, the price of gasoline became 0.14 per liter dollars. Okay. 10, Libya had no external debt. The reserves were 150 billion, now frozen worldwide. Okay. 11, since some Libyans can't find jobs after school, the government will pay the average salary when they can't find a job. Okay. 12, part of oil sales in Libya are directly linked to the bank accounts of all citizens. Okay. 13, the mother who gave birth to the child will receive $5,000. 14, 40 loaves of bread cost $0.15. 15, 25% of Libyans had all listen up diplomas. I don't know what that is. Okay. 16, Gaddafi had implemented the world's biggest irrigation project known as the Big Man Project to ensure water availability in the desert. I saw this. There's a YouTube channel that actually show how remarkable he will pump water from the water there hapo karibu na ninio hapo inaitwaje, whatever that ninio is, that river is. Okay. If this is called dictatorship, I wonder what democracy is, exposing the truth. This is what Gaddafi did for his people. Just imagine, what can we do if only we had leaders who cared about this country? This is a message for you young youth leaders who want to become the next leaders, okay? Yes, it's not going to be easy because as you see, Libya, they got rid of him for doing that. He had no external debt. He had what? Surplus reserves worth 150 billion for the country. They never had debt. They never cared about World Bank or nothing. They depended on themselves, on their national bank. Even Kenya doesn't have national bank. CBK is run by foreigners. It's not Kenyan bank. Go look it up if you think I'm joking. Anyway, my name is Kenya Revolutionary. Kama mja subscribe, sijui wafanye nini, nitawaombea muokoke. Subscribe, like, share, comment, and I will talk to you guys later. Thank you, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, maybe.